This is a bag of wood pellets. Once I finish using the wood pellets, I reseal the bag with a plastic food bag sealing clip. The kind you use to seal your chips with. And this is done just to keep the wood pellets dry.
Wood pellets have to be dry to work. You can see when they're dry, they're really hard and they burn really well. As soon as they get wet, they're pretty much wrecked and they're useless. Wet wood pellets just become sawdust, so you can't let the wood pellets get wet or they just turn to sawdust. This is a 40-pound bag of wood pellets. This is enough wood pellets for a lot of cooking. You can fill your wood gas stove with wood pellets many times from a bag like this. I like wood pellets because wood pellets are very easy to use with a wood gas stove. However, they have to stay dry or they're not much good. They just become sawdust if they're made wet. So what I do when I load my wood gas stove is I have a can, which is about as much, this can has a volume which is about equal to the amount of pellets I need to fill the wood gas stove. So I just do one little scoop, very simple, and then that's about the right amount to fill the stove. So I could just pour this into the stove and the stove would be fueled in a couple of seconds. The next option is to take a Ziploc bag and make a little package so that the pellets are pre-measured. So you just go like this, pour the pellets into the Ziploc bag, and then you have the right amount of pellets to fill a stove. That's very easy. Now you need a little bit of a lighting kit. So there are two ways that I discovered that you can do this. The first technique is to use a piece of wax-soaked cotton material. In this case it's jean, and then a small Vaseline-coated cotton ball. So what you're doing here is you just put both of these inside the Ziploc bag, and then you just close the Ziploc bag like that, and then you have a little kit like that, like a little package. And then that goes right inside the bag here with the wood pellets, and that gets zipped up. And then when you're camping and you need to start your wood gas stove, everything you need to light the stove is already in this little kit, and it sort of keeps everything a little bit waterproof. So then you can just take out the little lighting kit, pour the pellets into the stove, and then put the piece of wax-soaked cotton material and the cotton ball into the wood gas stove and light it. It's very easy. It takes a couple of seconds to do it. It's very fast. So your other lighting kit, you can use 2 Vaseline-coated cotton balls. I like to use 2 because it seems to start the stove quicker. These are big cotton balls. So you can put them in, close it up, and then you've got a little package. Stick that inside of the Ziploc bag with wood pellets, and you're ready. There you go. Now you have a package that's ready to go. The reason I like the cotton, the paraffin-soaked cotton, is because it doesn't stink as much as the Vaseline. It doesn't have much of a smell, so that's nice. And either option works. The other option is if you just have the stove here, you can just scoop it up like that, pour it into the stove, and light the stove and you're set. When you're making these packages, you can zip the Ziploc bag up and then just leave a little bit of air on, or a little air hole on the end, and then squeeze the air out, and then you can sort of close it, and then you get a little bit more of a then you have less air in the bag, and then the bag is less likely to puncture. So here are 2 packages that are ready for camping. I don't even have to think now, I just take these out and use them. It's very easy. This is a really simple way to make petroleum jelly coated cotton balls, which are used to light the wood gas stoves. It's very simple and very inexpensive to make these balls. So what I do is I take a Ziploc bag like this, and I take the bag and I put it inside out like that, and then I go and I reach into the petroleum jelly container and I get some petroleum jelly in there. Now I take the bag and I fold it the right way. You can use any type of brand of petroleum jelly. A very common brand is Vaseline. So what you can do now is you can put the cotton balls inside the bag. I put about 10 in, or thereabouts, and then I close it like this, and there's some air in here, which in this case is important. It's sealed with some air in there, and then you can just move it around like this, and it takes a couple minutes, not very long, and then the cotton balls will be coated with white petroleum jelly, but the inside of the cotton balls will still be quite dry, which is good. So there you go. And now we're almost done. So this is the result. Now you can open it up, and you've got a Vaseline coated cotton ball, which can then be opened up like this. Just open it up, right? Which I call making a spark net. So you've got a big thing like this, and then you can drop your ferro rod spark on there, or you can just light it with a match, whatever you like. But if it's opened like this, it's much easier for the ferro rod spark to light it. So it's very easy to do this, right? So you can just stick it back in there, and then you sort of go like this, squish the air out, and zip it up, and there you've got your little package of 10 little cotton balls, or 10 larger cotton balls coated with petroleum jelly, which can be used to light your wood gas stove.
This is a piece of cotton material, in this case jean material, which has been soaked in paraffin and left to cool. It's hard and stiff now, and it's full of paraffin. This is a cotton ball which has been coated with white petroleum jelly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unravel the cotton ball and then spread it apart slightly to make what I call a spark net. The spark net will receive the hot ferro rod sparks. The ferro rod sparks will light the cotton ball, which in turn will light the paraffin-soaked piece of jean material or cotton cloth underneath, which in turn will light the wood gas pellets. The advantage is that you don't have as much of a stinky smell when you're using the wax-soaked cotton material. The other option is to take a petroleum jelly coated cotton ball, open it up, and then light it using a ferro rod. The cotton ball will then light the wood pellets. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of the packages of wood pellets and remove the lighting kit. I'm going to take the contents of the package, the wood pellets, and I'm going to pour them into the wood gas stove and try not to get any on the side. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other package, remove the lighting kit and pour the contents into the wood gas stove. Within seconds, 2 stoves are fueled. Now I take a paraffin-soaked piece of cotton cloth, in this case jean, and I take a small cotton ball, and I open it up to make a spark net, and I put the spark net on top of the paraffin soaked cotton cloth. I have a second technique which I can use, and in this case I'm going to use white petroleum jelly coated cotton balls, in this case 2 of them, and I'm going to open them up like this and put them on top of the wood pellets. I'm going to do the same thing with the second petroleum coated cotton ball, and these stoves are ready to be lighted. I'm going to take a ferro rod and a striker, and I'm going to drop some sparks onto the cotton balls. This takes a little bit of practice, and I'm doing it from a height, so it's a little bit harder. You're just dropping them right onto the cotton ball. Keep trying and eventually you'll get it. Success! I've lit 2 stoves. Now I'm going to put the tops onto the stoves, and I'm going to use my long reach pliers to do this in order to avoid burning my fingers. See? These pliers allow me to work near fire and not burn my fingers, which is nice. The next technique I'm going to use is I'm going to use the can as a pre-measured scoop, and then I'm going to pour the wood pellets directly into the stove and put the top on. This just takes seconds to do. Now I'm going to take 2 petroleum jelly coated cotton balls, and I'm going to open them up and put them on top of the wood gas stove like this. They're opened up so they can easily receive the sparks. The more petroleum jelly you put on the cotton balls, the longer they burn. I'm going to do the same thing with the second cotton ball, and I'm going to put the ferro rod close to the cotton balls and light the cotton balls. Success! Now I'm going to use some long reach pliers and drop the burning cotton balls on top of the wood pellets. Be careful when you're doing this. This stove is now lit. Sometimes stoves go out when you're lighting them. I simply take another cotton ball, light it on a stove that's already burning, and drop the flaming cotton ball into the unlit stove. Just use appropriate caution when you're doing this. You can see the stoves are all lit and burning. Enjoy your camping trip and have a great day.